Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? We are going to be talking about a few different things today. So the first thing is that the undocumented, okay, that are residing in local shelters are joining groups, all right, that have been using their large numbers to intimidate and commit crimes against citizens. And these groups have been dubbed Wolfpack due to the mobs of people committing crimes in a large pack. So on Wednesday, an 11-year-old Venezuelan was arrested alongside a 17-year-old after robbing a subway passenger. And the pair is also alleged to be connected to robberies in Central Park after the 11-year-old was caught on camera. And 11 years old. Oh my God, 11 years old, of all ages. You know, I mean, they should be playing flag football or something. So anyway, the 11-year-old was caught on camera using credit cards that were stolen during a string of robberies. A credit card. You know, I have a grandson who's 10. He wouldn't even know what to do with a credit card. So anyway, in the southern part of the park, in Central Park, they are seeing a lot of these robberies, group robberies, and they're young kids, and they're mugging people and taking their property. And police believe that these young undocumented are the ones that are committing these robberies. So stronger consequences. Okay, that's what is needed here. Because, I mean, I know that nobody wants to see a kid be put in jail, right? But at the same time, at some point in time, some of these kids are going to get to the point where they're not redeemable. They're not going to be able to come back from that life of crime because that's all they're going to know. And it's sad. So the second thing that we're going to be talking about is who here buys Morton salt? Okay, who here has that in their pantry, right? Well, it has announced its decision to relocate its headquarters to Overland Park, Kansas. And the move comes as no surprise to those closely monitoring Illinois' increasingly hostile business climate, which has driven several major corporations to flee the state in recent years. Morton Salt now joins the likes of Citadel, TTX, Boeing, Caterpillar, and the Tyson Foods, all of which have packed up and they left Illinois, setting a toxic mix of high taxes, overregulation, and escalating crimes rates in Chicago. So the third thing that we're going to be talking about is security officers. They engaged in gunfire with multiple active shooters at Joint Base San Antonio in Lackland. Yes. Now, the multiple active shooters, they tried to breach the main gate at Chapman Training Annex at about 4:30 in the morning yesterday. No injuries were reported, thank God, but it is unclear how many shooters were at the main gate, and the shooters had no affiliation with the military. So the security officers were fired upon by the suspects that were driving a sedan. Yeah. And the motive for the shooting is not known. No details about the suspects were released as of yet that I could find. The fourth and final thing that we're going to be talking about are, because, you know, our kids have gone back to school, okay, but I know that a lot of kids up north, they don't go back to school until after Labor Day, which is in September. Teachers are quitting. Teachers are quitting. And they say that it's because of Generation Alpha's behavior. It pushes them to their limits, creating crisis in the education system. Now, Generation Alpha, which is born between 2010 and 2024, represents the largest cohort of children growing up in the digital age. And many blame the lockdowns and school closures during the pandemic for a rise of bad behavior, while some are pointing the finger at millennial parents who are opting to distract their kids with technology rather than properly disciplining them. And yeah, I can actually see that because my one nephew who is going to be 11, his mom, okay, my sister-in-law, she does the same thing, you know, gives him a device, and that's that. The device is the babysitter. And I have had this discussion with my sister-in-law on many occasions, and I've told her, please don't do that, you know, that is the wrong way of going about things, you know. And you know, even my son, you know, he's got 3 kids, and he has even said, you know, he's got a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, and, you know, now a 2-month-old. You know, you guys have seen pictures of Evie Rose. And, you know, with the 2-month-old, okay, the older kids, you know, they're allowed to have some screen time. Some. When they get home from school, they do their homework, they eat dinner. Okay, you can have screen time. Then take a shower. Night, that's it. You know, it is limited. But I know parents that literally, okay, it's with the phone or the iPad or the PlayStation 5 or this, that, and the other, and the kids are, and that's all they do. And it's like, spend quality time. Quality time. What are you doing? You know? So now there's a new study that has revealed that there has been a devastating impact because of this, and had, you know, school life impacted with, like, there's like a percentage, like 26% or something like that, of public schools reporting that a lack of focus among iPad kids had a severe negative impact on teacher morale. Now, on top of low morale, there's a separate study that revealed that 92% of leadership at public schools were concerned that students were not meeting an academic standards. That's because they've got the phone glued to the damn face. So 2 years ago, a shocking 44% of public schools were operating with staffing shortages, and those staffing shortages is still ongoing. I know here in the state of Florida, it's disgusting. It's terrible. I mean, they're constantly looking to hire teachers, and what they're now doing is they are having contracts with other countries. And there's actually been, my daughter was telling me about this, that these teachers are actually like getting in trouble, and they're getting arrested because one teacher who was from Jamaica put her hands on another kid, like roughhoused him a little bit. And she said, well, that's how we operate in Jamaica. And we're like, well, you're not in Jamaica, so you can't do that here. And she was actually fired, and she was arrested for not like child abuse or anything like that. I can't remember what it was, but this was last school year. But at the same time, teacher job satisfaction has hit an all-time low, with only 12% of educators actually expressing contentment. And in May of this year, so May that just passed, a staggering 59,000 teachers and other educational staff quit their teaching jobs across the United States, and many have left their increasingly unappreciated roles in search of more fulfilling careers, underscoring the deepening crisis in our education system. So I remember my sister, she was a English literature teacher for middle school, and she's like, I'm done, I can't do it. And she actually went, and she's, because she had her doctorate in education and journalism, so she is now a professor now, because she got burnt out. She got burnt out with doing like the middle school and stuff like that. And I said, well, you know, Janine, why don't you go and do high school? And she's like, no, I can't. She's like, I can't. You don't get it. You don't understand. And I was just like, well, you know, I used to be a gymnastics teacher, so I kind of do understand, but now she's a professor. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless.